Hey folks, John here from Surf Fitness. I just wanted to give you a quick video on the importance of warming up and how it fits in with your time spent here in Surf Fitness in the gym. Now, warming up is grossly overlooked by the vast majority of folks that come in here. They're time pressed, they haven't got time to get the slow, boring stuff done, but it's just so crucially important, and in some cases, it can actually become the training session itself. Now, I'll explain more in just a second. Warming up is so important because it prepares the body for what's to come. It prepares you mentally as well. Sometimes we come in with a lot of mental and emotional baggage, and it's a good time, 5 or 10 minutes, literally no more, just to clear the head and get yourself ready for a bit of training and me time. Secondly, it prepares the body to reduce the risk of injuries, so things like ligaments, tendons, all those connective tissue, muscles and fascia. They need to get warm, they need to get going. Jumping into things cold really does significantly increase your risk of injury. Not so much acute, whereby you do it there and then, but sometimes chronic over time. That thing starts to niggle, the hip starts to come at you again, and by and large it's because we're kind of skipping or not giving much respect to the process of warming up. So what is it? What constitutes a really good warm-up? Well, firstly, it's general to specific. So what I mean by that, it moves from a very generalized type of movements, like cardiovascular exercise, like just popping on the bike or the row or the treadmill or the elliptical, to more specific type of warm-up drills, such as the exercises you're going to perform themselves. So firstly, we look at it and there's essentially 4 stages. So number 1 is cardio, 5 to 10 minutes of where you just literally break a sweat. Now how you do that is entirely up to you. Obviously you want to make it as little impact as possible, but something which just gets your heart rate up, gets you breaking a sweat. It's when you know you've raised your core temperature, and that really now prepares and sets the tone for step 2, which is stretches. Now stretches, you can really carpet bomb your body, but here we like to do things a little bit differently, and we'll identify certain key stretches which are key for you, because in the body there's a pattern of kind of long and weak muscles and short and tight muscles. So we want to make sure that we're always stretching the short and tight muscles and avoid stretching the long and weak muscles, because they're already long, they're already weak, they don't need further stretchings. And in some cases it's your hamstrings. Where do most people stretch? Yep, you guessed it, the hamstrings. So we want to avoid the long and weak muscles. We want to target the short and tight ones. They tend to be kind of the anterior muscles, the muscles on the front of your body, the chest and the hip flexors, the muscles on the top of your thigh. We'll show you and demonstrate those drills so you learn them, and they're great to do at home as well. Thirdly, we then look at things like control drills. Now control drills are targeting, like I've just mentioned, those long and weak muscles, the muscles that need a bit of waking up, the muscles that need a bit of preparing, ready for action. Now they could be things normally on the posterior or the back of your body, things like when we do the flutter drills or the external rotation drills that we know that are great for the shoulders, the bridges and so forth. There are so many, and again we'll guide you on the particular ones that are ideal for you. Now lastly, point 4 is the exercises themselves. So say for instance your program calls for a squat or a bench press or another workout. Any exercise in your first couple of two exercises allocated in your training program are ideal just to practice. So what we do is we get our body weight. We might do a body weight squat version, or we might do just a light. If we're going to do a bench press that's weighty, we might just do a push-up or something which is just very low loading, where you get a chance to practice and rehearse the movement. And if you're looking at maybe doing 10 to 15 reps, then you want to choose a weight where you can easily comfortably do 20 to 30. It's really just a case of just rehearsing the movement, getting that movement ready for action, so that again we reduce the risk of injury and get our brain and all the systems in the body ready for action. So those are the importance of warming up. It's the 4-step process. It's a nice easy flow, and it really should take you no more than 5-10 minutes. If you feel like it, if you don't feel like training so much, you don't feel like really putting some grunt in it, there's nothing wrong with extending each one of these phases to a training block themselves. So you could take the cardio and do 10 minutes of that. You could do 10-15 minutes of stretching, 10 minutes control drills, and then maybe leave point 4 off. And that in itself is a 34-minute training session.